When Emily was born, the doctors didn't look at her eyes or her fingers first. They looked at the faint glowing numbers etched into the soft skin of her wrist. Every baby was born with them, a countdown timer, silent but relentless, marking the exact number of years, days, hours, and minutes until the moment of their death. Society had long since accepted it, building schools, jobs, marriages, and even prisons around the cold mathematics of time. People with decades remaining were given long-term responsibilities, while those with only a few years were urged to live fast were relegated to roles no one else wanted. Love, friendship, and ambition all bowed to the tyranny of numbers. Emily's timer was unusual. From the moment she arrived, her digits glowed faintly, but instead of counting down like everyone else's, hers did not move. It showed 19 years, 3 months, and 7 days, frozen as though the mechanism itself had jammed. The doctors were puzzled, her parents terrified. They hid her wrist, fearing she would be labeled defective, perhaps even dangerous. But Emily grew into her teens with the same frozen number, neither losing nor gaining a second. People noticed eventually. Some whispered she was blessed, immune to death. Others muttered she was cursed, an error in a perfect system. At 17, she began to ask questions. Why was she different? What would happen when she reached 19 years, 3 months, and 7 days? Was her life paused, or would it all catch up to her in one violent instant? She scoured libraries and dark corners of the net, where rumors spoke of others like her, people whose timers had glitched. All had disappeared before their predicted end, vanishing without explanation. Then she met Daniel, a boy in her class whose timer showed only 2 weeks left. Unlike the others, he didn't hide his fear. He was bold, reckless, always laughing too loudly as if daring time to strike early. Drawn by his defiance, Emily showed him her secret. For the first time, she admitted to someone that her timer had never moved. Instead of recoiling, Daniel smiled. "Maybe you're not broken," he said. "Maybe you're proof the system is a lie." That night, she couldn't sleep. His words gnawed at her. Could the timers really be wrong? The next day, Daniel didn't show up to school. When she ran to his house, she found neighbors whispering in hushed tones he had collapsed at midnight, his countdown striking 0. The system, it seemed, had been right after all. But when Emily checked her own wrist after hearing the news, something impossible had happened. Her timer had moved for the first time in her life. 1 minute had disappeared. Panic coursed through her. Daniel's death had stolen time from her. Somehow, impossibly, her frozen digits had absorbed a fragment of what he lost. And as the days passed, she began to test it. When a stranger died in a car crash, her timer ticked down another 2 minutes. When a news story reported a fire across town, she lost 3. Death elsewhere fed into her clock. Her life wasn't frozen, it was connected to others. By 18, the truth became unbearable. Her time wasn't her own. It belonged to every life around her. As though she carried a hidden balance sheet of humanity itself. She tried to run from it, leaving her city for remote towns. But no matter where she went, whenever someone died nearby, her timer ticked. Then one evening, she stumbled upon a hidden group that called themselves the Carriers. They, too, had frozen timers, scattered across the world, each tethered not to their own deaths but to the collective sum of others. Some carried hundreds of years, others only weeks, depending on how much time they had absorbed. They revealed the darkest truth: timers were never meant to be personal. They were a mechanism of control, created long ago to keep order, to ensure obedience. The few with frozen timers were cracks in that system, reminders that fate was not inevitable but manipulated. Emily's hands shook as she stared at her wrist. For the first time in her life, the digits began to spin rapidly, climbing higher and higher, numbers flooding into her like water. People were dying in large numbers somewhere far away, and all of their stolen time was rushing into her. Her 19 years became 50, then 80, then 200. She gasped, feeling both the weight and horror of what it meant. The Carriers smiled grimly. "You're not cursed," one whispered. "You're the reset. When the system collapses, it needs someone to inherit everything." Emily looked at her glowing wrist, now a storm of endless years, and she understood the final twist. She wasn't destined to die when her time ended. She was destined to live until everyone else's did.